My name is Nassime Saabs.
The shooting in New Brunswick is raising questions about gun control in Canada.
Law enforcement professionals who get up every day to defend our nation, we have to wait to see what the investigation shows us. But look, if there are things we can and should do.
If you could see Justin or talk to him now, what would you say?
I'd definitely tell him to snap out of it. Like, if I can get a megaphone right now, if he's wherever he is, you know, as his friend, I'd be like, come off it, man. Like, you know, like, he's not like this. You know, like, whatever you guys seen, posted, trained, he was none of those things, okay? He's just a normal guy that really liked his guns, a little misunderstood, and he snapped. I don't know what made him snap. Something did for sure, and I really hope this gets resolved soon, because this is scary, man. You know what I mean? What could he do next? You know, like, this was a joke once upon a time, you know what I mean? Like, he had guns, you know what I mean? He loved this stuff, but, you know, it was all harmless. You know, he goes and shoot bottles and cans. It was nothing, you know what I mean? You know, it's like, good thing we're your buddy, you know what I mean? Just in case it went nuts. You know, that was a joke once upon a time. It's not funny anymore. Justin, I hope you make it out alive. You did harm some people. That's horrible, man. I really feel sorry for those cops' families, man. That's devastating for families included. Like, just smarten up, buddy.
Where do you think he is?
Where do I think he is? He's nowhere where the cops think he is, that's for sure. He's in the woods. He's in the woods. Cops, he's thought about the whole heat signature thing. He's covered in mud. You know what I mean? Like.
Okay, Cameron, we talked earlier today about, you saw him Sunday.
This neighborhood?
Or where did the shooting happen?
Way down in the trailer park.
It happened in Hildegard.
So is that where he lived?
It was near Hildegard and where the Pioneer Trailer Park is. And
Okay,
that's where
but he
his trailer
lived in
was.
the marshes.
Yeah, he lived in the trailer park.
Okay.
And I guess he snapped. People saw him leave his apartment, and I guess the look on his face was that he had a mission and he was going to do what he was going to do. He was set on whatever he was going to do.
This wasn't planned.
No.
It was very spontaneous. I know that. I don't know it, but I have a gut feeling that this was very spontaneous. He was jokingly violent jokes maybe, but nothing serious.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like something
no
really no temper, really no temper at all. I'd say somebody really irked him. No pictures. Fucking erase that. Sorry.
But who would have irked him? Like,
No idea.
he was working, he had lost his...
If he lost his job, I can't see him.
You don't know.
I can't see over a job that would just set him off like that. If his employer maybe humiliated him, maybe.
But why go after the cops?
They were in his way.
Really?
I hate saying it like that.
So you don't think that he had a...
I don't think he had it out for cops.
Like he never talked about that?
No,
No.
not at all. I'm not not saying any of this to protect him or anything, but, you know, it's just saying how I know the guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I mean, it's the question after all of these tragedies, right? Like, what we all try to figure out what happened just so that, you know, hopefully prevent it.
We're his friends, and we're still very mystery of what he's, like, I'm sorry, I got really bad wording, but we're wondering what's going on in his head, because this is very
unlike him.
What was your first reaction when you saw the picture?
When I saw the picture, my first reaction, as we already thought, it was him. Shock, deep shock. Like, you know, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe a joke was reality.
The fun, the thrills, the uncontrollable laughter. It's the most hilarious journey into the mind. Expect nothing less than sensational when you watch Cyrus in action. Unmatched stage presence and magnetic personality. Volunteers surrender to the power of suggestions to become talented musicians, outrageous ballet dancers, and rock and roll legends, giving the audience a show to be remembered.
Guy definitely, he was out on a mission. At the end of the day, this guy is full of ammunition. He's got rifles. He's on a killing spree. It looks like he's not going after civilians.
Let's get on to the Canadian story today. Was a Rambo-style killer finally surrenders. So it talks about this guy. Now, something very, very clear here. It says the Canadian Mounted Police arrested suspect early Friday after 24-hour manhunt. I'll go through this a bit with you. Lots of bikes. Something that was really interesting. DMAC, another researcher, had noticed something really particular about some of these pictures. We really noticed that they're militarizing our police. You know, all of this is almost overkill. Now, this is a picture in question. Prom, Killam, Drive. Very interesting. They really, really focused on it, right? They block off Killam Road. Well, it's Drive. Here they say road. But I think this is a very big cue. You notice how lately Sandy Hook, the parents are, these two scientists are pushing for a $10 million grant in order to start monitoring or being able to monitor people with like a mind wire for precognitive or pre-crime, so that they will be able to understand if they're mentally ill prior to, you know, allowing them to hold guns or be in society, basically, I think is what the whole idea behind that is. You know, the cop, different angles, right? But a porta potty on the scene again, kind of more of these military vehicles. Isn't that hilarious? A porta potty at the scene.
Everyone, it's Jeff C. It is Sunday, June the 8th. I wanted to inform you about some of the really disturbing things that are going on. Now, I want to make it clear to all my listeners that I've been receiving a lot of threats, some pretty serious ones. I've tried to take photographic images, mostly coming off of YouTube, but just in case anything happens to me, you'll know for sure, right? Because right now, I'm trying to expose what has happened here in Moncton, and taking on the RCMP, right? I mean, with all the resources that they have at hand, they're not going to take this lightly, and they're not going to let me expose them if they can somehow prevent it. So I'm taking a big chance here, covering. But I just want to show you what's happening now on Twitter. And I've been using the hashtag over and over again, as you can see here, Moncton Spirit. Here's another one, Moncton Spirit, right? This is that's the hashtag that most people are putting when anything to deal with the shooting is Moncton Spirit. And you can see the type of stuff that I'm putting here. Moncton Spirit, hear me out. I'm an expert. Now I want you to show you that I'm being censored on Twitter. And I'll prove it to you right now by showing you this. Here is the search for Moncton Spirit. And here's 51 minutes ago. You will see none of my posts. They have been taken off. They're being censored. Nowhere. You see 5 hours. I put up dozens of these tweets and they are all being taken down or they're all being censored. You won't see any of my stuff here. None. Nowhere. Anywhere. Even going back a day or two. Nothing. This is the kind of stuff that's going on. This is censorship. This is the kind of power that the RCMP has. I've had several RCMP, guys with RCMP logos and stuff like that leaving comments, nasty comments on my videos, saying you're a scumbag or whatever and stuff like that. So I want you to all be aware of that. If anything happens to me, right? If I'm struck by a bolt of lightning or I die in some freak car crash or those escaped prisoners from Quebec happen to just bust down my door and kill me, well, then you know what is going on. And I want to make sure that I cover my ass. So I want all my listeners to remember what I'm telling you here. I also ask you all to download my videos if you can, because I have a very strong feeling that they're going to be taking those down. So if this information gets censored, you know, that's what they want to do. They want to stop me from having a voice on the internet. They want to stop me from reaching all the Monktons, all the you know.
The brown one with the trim, white.
Right.
White with brown trim.
People knew he had guns here, but was a good neighbor, funny and generous, they say.
Dead look in his face. He was walking in a straight line, looking in a straight line. He was on a mission, and you could tell.
And witnesses who saw the gunman are still haunted.
Straight ahead on a mission with a rifle going down the side of him with just a clip of big, huge bullets on him.
He had a couple guns on his back, crossbow, knives all over his pants, all the ammo geared up. He just had the most blank look in his face, like he was on a mission, ready to do something. My stomach dropped. I had the worst feeling in my gut.
I took one look at his face, and he had this really dead look in his face. He was walking in a straight line, looking in a straight line. He was on a mission, and you could tell.
He wasn't out to hurt anybody. He was out to hurt the cops, because he walked right down the road, and he was armed and all that, and there's no way. He could have shot everybody in the park here. And he didn't even open fire, didn't look at nobody, didn't talk to nobody, just walked straight down. Just like he was a guy in an army out on a mission, like he was in a combat going to his mission and that, and there's no way, like, he was just walking there.
When he went out
on his mission.
Yeah.
Yeah, he lived in the trailer park. Okay. And I guess he snapped. People saw him leave his apartment, and I guess the look on his face was that he had a mission.
When he walked by
on his mission.
Yeah, and then
the guy definitely, he was out on a mission.
There are no limits.
It figures it would be something like this.
Our idea of vision.
Excuse me.
Just survive.
You know, you look like your head fell on the cheese dip back in 1957. You're okay. This one, real fucking ugly. You see, I take these glasses off, she looks like a regular person, doesn't she, huh? Put them back on, formaldehyde face, that's what we got.
That's enough out of you. You get out or I call the cops.
Call the cops? You know what you need? You need a Brazilian plastic surgeon.
I've got one that can see.
He's a tall Caucasian male, doesn't appear armed, wearing sunglasses.
I don't like this one bit. Not one bit.